Okay, that is so beyond tempting right now. Can I get it exactly where I want it? I can make it work. I don't even care. I'm just trying again. Everybody, deal with that aluminum price. Go. Deal with it. Figure it out. Make it work. Make it happen. Come on. I'm really hoping nobody takes this aluminum from me in response to this, though. Clark has a lot of debt. I have a lot of debt. I've managed to push my debt even lower this time. Way too early have been found, and I don't even care. Didn't even look at the rest of the map. Hopefully I'll just actually get killed this time and kind of expect it and just let it come and see what happens. We'll see, though. We'll see. This guy's actually establishing aluminum, so I'll need to hop out of that fairly quickly. Come on. Just a little bit more. This guy also going to steal my aluminum? No, he's not. No, he's not. This guy right here, seriously? Why you gotta be that way? I get it, but why you gotta be that way? Come on. That's ridiculous. Okay. Let's establish some food. Let's grab up the glass that we're gonna need, which is gonna be a lot because we're gonna need extra food as well. And we're also gonna have to buy up some of our own stock. So we'll just see how effectively we can make all of these things happen. Alright, that's actually more than enough. There we go. Pirates suck, because pirates actually hurt us quite badly because we established this farm in particular. But I don't want to scrap the farm. If I'd gotten the pirates for 10, that probably would have been okay. Much more, and it's kinda super risky. Yeah, we're just gonna have to let him go at this point. Alright, let's play the How Dead Can We Get game. This is gonna be entertaining, folks. Clark already establishing power production, so his stock price is gonna be higher than ours, potentially. Thankfully, we can kind of commit this early lead to buying up some of our own stock and telling everybody else to go away. It's a basic goal right now. We've already got established a lot of aluminum production, making us money. I'm tempted to go ahead and try and buy into a fair amount of silicon instead of going straight into stock. That way we can transition out of aluminum at some point, potentially, and into power as an option. We could also transition out of steel like we did before and into power. And try and make that work. Okay. A lot of people hitting level 2 at this point, and that's fine. I'm wondering if we can pay for this just off of the back of this steel and aluminum and kind of make it work. We'll see. We'll see what we can pull off. There, that's enough silicon stored up right now. I didn't see a lot of silicon production yet. There is some coming in now. For Clark, probably because we kind of been messing with the prices a lot. Let's go ahead and make this transition, though. And now just try and push for that upgrade, try and push into more of our own stock. Those two things together hopefully will carry us through. Food coming in, that's a big deal. This is 40 food. This is a 50-50 coin flip, and I hate this about pirates. 50-50 coin flip, and we lose it. Well, that might just lose us the game on its own right there, actually. What do you do about that? Get lucky and have no pirate auction on day one. GG. That's it. Sucks, but it's the truth. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's not make the valuable resource and pretend that's an option. It's not an option, guys. It's not how the game works. Unfortunately, we actually desperately needed that money to push to an upgrade. And so, like I said, we're probably just dead. Because we moved into power. We're not making money off of power. We're just raising our stock price. And as you can see, it's going up fairly dramatically right now. But we're not making money. And so we can't upgrade. And that's a really big deal. If this farm had come through, if we had gotten the shipment, we would have had it. And what's really sad is, if he had waited, he would have made money a lot faster off of this guy, who had much better farms down. Instead, he's caused problems for both of us, long term. Bit annoying, and of course we have more pirates available. We're going so much harder on these, it's not even funny. We've paid off debt. We need to make money now that we've paid off debt. We absolutely need to do that, period. Go away. I don't even want to hear it. Now, it might have been Herbert that took the initial pirates, and that would be understandable. Give me my expansion that I desperately need. Still gonna try and take them. Don't care. Come on, give me enough to upgrade. Steel rose just ahead of all of this. See, the problem is the pause comes through, and it gives everybody else time to kind of think. Did I really get one, and I got the tiny one? Fine. Be that way. Whatever. Fine. I love auto-losing games like this. Like, I might have had a shot here, and I wouldn't be so frustrated about losing because of my massive amount of debt if it hadn't been combined with pirates deciding, hey, look at this, look at this! Finally, I get some food out of all of this. Sheesh. Alright. Let's get some extra farms down. Let's get our reactor down instead of committing entirely into farms. What can't... Herbert blocking off some of my stuff. That's fantastic. By fantastic, I mean awful. Well, Bradbury sold out of us, so we're not completely dead at this point. The power is kind of paying off debt-ish. Not fantastically, but to some degree or another. Pirate's still going to be stealing a lot of our food, so we have to watch out for that. And so instead of paying down debt, we're going to make sure we've established enough glass to upgrade again. Power is getting weak. Power is getting weak very quickly. So it's kind of looking like it might be time to move into steel before long again. Steel is still fairly good. And power is just plain not. So even though it's been doing a good job paying down our debt to some degree, making so that we don't just spiral on out, we still have to be very careful with everything we're doing right now. Alright, let's buy up some steel. It got a little bit cheaper. Take that opportunity to buy it. Now let's just hope our food actually comes on through. This is what I'm talking about, though. We got the much better... Like, these pirates are still here. They've been here so much longer. And ours were so much more effective. Wow, are all three of those going to go through? Alright, game, I forgive you a little bit. A little bit. Not completely, but a little bit. I really would have loved to get these reactors down. That would have been fantastic. Unfortunately, we did get beaten to them. Clark has reactors down on top of his water. That's a thing, I suppose. Man, I kind of want to establish reactors here, but I can't get solid adjacency bonuses going on. Let's go ahead and get out of power. I was concerned we might actually get that for a moment. Man, look at all of Herbert's production. That is insane. Herbert is just so far ahead of everyone this game right now, it looks like. Like, Bradbury's in a good spot, too. Don't get me wrong. But Herbert is insane right now. And I think that's mostly because he found it so late, and then he just took a geotherm. He just took a geotherm, and that was it. We're not going to build that yet, because power's $2. But we've got the tile established for later if we need it, so that's good. I'm really tempted just to throw down carbon right here. And then, like, things that need carbon next to it, and go for slant drilling later. I'm wondering if that's actually an option. I really needed reactors down, is what this comes down to right now. I needed reactors down a long time ago quite badly. Right up here where I wanted to put them. And I didn't get to do that, and that's hurting a lot right now. Instead of this, let's just go for water and then add to the farms later, potentially. That could work out okay. Steel's coming in. Glass still isn't, so that last upgrade will be a bit difficult to push for. Yep. Figured that was coming soon. Herbert's also buying himself up. Okay, we're not in a good spot, but we're not dead either. And we do have a clear target in Niven right now. Alright. Reactors are doing okay. The water's established to make sure they stay okay. The food's still alright. It's not great. Let's go ahead, maybe throw down this geotherm. Probably not yet, honestly. Probably don't need to quite yet. Those pirates are still there. So frustrating. And these EMPs just keep raining down. They seem to be hitting me incidentally, right? They're targeted on Herbert, the clear lead. But they're still frustrating. Okay. We would need 160 to finish a buyout on Niven, who is kind of a clear target. 158 on Clark, who is another target potentially. We could go after Clark. His stock price is a little low. We can establish quite a bit of it if we really want to. These are options here. But my debt is just too high right now, and I'm going to need to do something about it. Okay. We got a little more stock purchased up. That was good. A water shortage kind of sucks. Sell back out of that. That was terrifying for a moment. Turn these off, because they're suddenly quite bad. And instead, we're not even just going to turn them off. We're going to just move them into chems. Okay, Herbert is very close to purchasing us. So let's fix that by making him defend himself a little bit. Let's see, we've gone into Clark just a tad. He's still making money so effectively. Herbert is just in a terrifying position this game. I think he managed to establish that food production and not get punished for it for long enough that it might just carry him through. I don't think I transition these. I don't think I do. I think I just leave them for now. New claim would be nice in a lot of ways. Chems are going strong. Really sucks that while they're killing him, they're also killing me. It's understandable. You can't really blame them for it. It just sucks. Let's upgrade. Steel is super cheap, so we'll take that upgrade. That'll beef our stock price up once again a little bit. What do we do from here? Maybe I do make this transition. I can't right now because it's frozen, but later on I can. I could establish something down here, just a little bit of carbon coming in. This was really a bad spot to found, though, at the end of the day, is what this is coming down to. I just found it in a dumb place, and now I'm getting punished for it. Herbert found it in a slightly better place. I can't believe he beat me to these tiles. That is such a huge deal, this game. It's making all the difference in the world. Alright, water's coming on in. We really need to use this expansion that I took. Let's grab another chem lab. Let's go ahead and put down in engineering lab. I could go for an off-world again. I never really checked how good they are, but I am on HQ level where I can do that. It's my one strength of this game, and off-worlds are pretty incredible, so if I could pull it off, it would be pretty nice to have down. Alright, those are still making huge amounts of money. Maybe I just commit even more into it. I can throw down the carbon tile, potentially. Man, this is so tempting to transition. But it's so risky as well. Who knows if water's actually going to stick up there. It looks like it is for the time being. I have no idea why. Fine, I'll do it. I'll make the transition. Let's go ahead and maybe not an engineering lab. I really want that off-world. If I'm going to make this play, I want to make it happen, and I want to make it happen in a stupidly brilliant way. Not even brilliant, just stupidly ridiculous way is more the word I'm going for. It's brilliant in that sense. It's brilliant in its ridiculous retardation, effectively. Okay, still dying to debt. Still letting ourselves die to debt quite spectacularly. Chem lab's going strong. Reactors could be okay as well. They're not great, but they're potentially okay. I didn't grab that carbon tile, and somebody else did, so I was just being a little slow to that, apparently. Could grab these carbon tiles over here. I've got 3 claims left, and I have no idea what to do with them. Less than no idea what to do with these claims. Could go into more chems, which are still pretty good. Water production has stayed so strong this whole time, which I do not understand. I'm just going to make some electronics. Forget it. Just forget it all. We're going to make some electronics. Let's buy into Bradbury a bit. He's in an off-world as well. Let's go ahead and grab an extra amount of defense for our off-world. Let's buy into Wells a bit.
To the highest bidder. 7,000, 9,000, 12,000, 14.
Alright, pirates are a pretty big deal. Water's finally on the way down, so now we transition this back into a farm. If we can. Sheesh. There we go. I really don't want to let this just go. It's too good. But I think 32,000 I can't really fight for. I know, I see carbon's price, but I'm hoping carbon's on the way down. And what else do you want me to really make right now? You know what I mean? That's the big deal going on right now. I'm hoping carbon is on the way down. Unfortunately, a scavenger just expanded, and that hurt quite badly, right? Like, the scavenger expanding really beefed up that price pretty ridiculously. Why is this telling me? It's so much more valuable than it is. Whatever. We need to get this off-world shipping now. Because we finally managed to get it constructed. Let's see. These are turned off for the time being, as they need to be. I wasn't expecting the scavenger expansion in particular. I didn't realize he still had so much expanding to do, quite frankly. Alright, how are chems doing then? They're still making us money-ish. Farm's not doing as well as one would hope. Herbert's getting close to bringing us down. I guess power would have been the better decision at this point. Then electronics, I could have gone into power. It's expensive to do, but likely going to be worthwhile if I can pull it off. Those just came back up so fast. Alright, there we go. It's one little bit down. We already... Let's grab... Okay, well there we can do that. I can't grab an extra one, unfortunately, which I'd really love to do. Wow, Bradbury's close to killing us. Alright, off-world shipment launched. Get another one going. There we go. Okay, scrap out of the chem labs. Get on into some more reactors. Carbon just kept going up, so I was totally wrong about that, it turns out. I thought it'd fix itself. It absolutely did not. Alright, what can I do here to actually make this happen, if at all, if anything? Try to get a little more power down, potentially. It's fairly cheap to do, at least. Man, carbon went so insane compared to what I expected. Okay. Steel's not doing good, but it's going to be hard to transition into anything effective, and then off-world launch came through and I died to Bradbury. Man, it was close. A few missteps at the start. Bradbury managing to push to the buy is a pretty big deal. It was entirely this off-world that he got up a little bit before I did that let him go ahead and finish me. It was a close one. Those pirates at the start hurt so much.
Freelance pirates are auctioning their services to the highest bidder.
Alright, let's watch the rest of this game and go ahead and see what happens. Bradbury should have it locked up fairly effectively at this point. He's in a fantastic position. Very high stock price. 60% of his stock secured. I maybe could have tried shutting him down a little bit harder there, going after his off-world, but it likely wouldn't have done anything. It's kind of the awkward thing about when you make a transition to one off-world and then just stick on it, is this idea that it's so easy to defend in early off-world with goon squads if that goon squad price had never gotten shot up in the first place. So I doubt we could have done that. He made almost the exact same play we did. He just made it a bit faster as a robotic player, which is fantastic use of the fact that he is robotic, by the way. Showing that that can kind of work, especially on these... Maybe the ability to ignore that glass price was huge, because he just accelerated it on up, and it just so happened that off-worlds were amazing. Also, I have no idea why everybody has been nuking out Clark this game, who has been so far behind. These were carbon tiles one day. These were carbon tiles. We can see them now. They're not so much on the carbon tiles anymore. These trace deposits. And Clark is just so far out of the game, it's not even funny. So I don't know why that's been going on. It does explain why carbon went up instead of down, was if there were a lot of nukes going on over to Clark. He wasn't able to flood the market with it and bring that price down. So things we could have done differently that game. A carbon transition could have gone quite nicely. I think the off-world was the correct call. We just needed to last a little bit longer for it to kind of carry us through. If I had made it to these two tiles here, I probably would have also managed to wrap up the game. But unfortunately, Herbert barely beating me to them. Like, I sent the tiles out, and then sometime afterward, I heard the ping that says, alright, well, you lost the tiles. So that should have been a fairly close one. And man, though, it comes down to this coin flip. Like, right at the start, 40 food at that stage of the game, when food is close to $100, is a huge, huge deal. It stopped me from upgrading and continuing to accelerate through and really punch through that weak phase where I had such high debt I needed to always be concerned. And that pretty much was the case almost the entire game, right? So that 40 food, that auction, that coin flip, it hurts. But it happens. Alright. Herbert, still in it. Herbert has a couple of Offworlds, most of them mutinied because Bradbury is not doing a good job defending himself. The way Herbert comes back to win this, by the way, which is still an option, he could kill Bradbury still. Bradbury may not have identified this fact fast enough, but Herbert has been on engineering labs the entire time. Herbert is scientific and has strong defense for his Offworlds against his opponent. Bradbury is robotic and has been allowing people to take his Offworlds away, and on top of that, he rushed into quite a good number of them. And so he hasn't really pulled in much of a benefit from that yet. All those things combined together mean that Herbert, with this ridiculously upgraded electronics production from having these engineering labs running the entire time, he likely will go ahead and take this. Like, I called it for Bradbury a while ago. But Herbert, we can see he's managed to purchase Frankie Mania. That was very cheap. We can see, look at how much money he still has left over from that. Bradbury is going to go ahead and grab up King Morgan, though, so still pretty close here. I feel like buys going that way will lean in Bradbury's favor. He has more Offworlds established. He's getting them back. Black market will slowly get less and less effective, but he needs to keep purchasing it. Now, I worry that Bradbury potentially hasn't done enough black market purchasing this game in order to make all of that happen. So, and that's always a fantastic thing to see, by the way. You always love it when the guy who bought you loses, because it means he made a mistake in doing it and maybe you should have lasted a bit longer, or he made a mistake somewhere along the way. Bradbury only with 6 black market purchases, 2 of them goon squads, 2 very early, very cheap goon squads, it looks like. Whereas if we check Herbert, he has made 13 black market purchases. We can see all of his new claims that he bought have been working very heavily in his favor. This is almost certainly Cubit, by the way. He's the one who goes heavily into new claims. He didn't get punished for it early, and I doubt he'll get punished for it late. Bradbury has managed to get a lot of people bought, and he has a lot of Offworlds online, but I'm worried the Offworlds might have cost too much, and this electronics production might still just carry Herbert on through. Now, what I'm really surprised by is the fact that Herbert does not have carbon scrubbing, but we can see how much of a difference it's realistically making. Look at this. That's insane. He's almost pushed through to it already. Yeah, you have a ridiculously high stock price, but Herbert's making a ridiculous amount of money. Whereas Bradbury, he's relying entirely on the Offworlds. He's not turning his buildings on. He's made a significant number of mistakes in acquiring everybody, right? He's not quite doing it all, pulling it together properly. So he could still very easily get knocked out here by Herbert. I worry about a couple of these later buys. There, Cubit's going to go ahead and take it. He manages to push on through. No big surprise. Those engineering labs sitting around for so long, and most importantly, our green player, I think that was Death Tacticus, right? Yeah. Focused too much on getting to the buy on me, and then maybe let things slide from there, so that he wasn't in the game afterward at all. Yes, Cubit, that was silly. That was a silly game by far. Cubit, I was so frustrated you beat me to these reactors. We were both going for reactors on top of this water, and it made such a huge difference that game. Huge difference, these reactors on the water. But it'll happen. So the big deal there, we were already kind of looking at most of it. Death Tacticus throwing up potentially too many Offworlds, not focusing enough on defending his own, not focusing enough on black market. Cubit with twice as much use of the black market through that game, managing to make enough money that he can get away with, in particular, his early claim purchases, because when you're making a huge amount of money, it's just a little speed bump on the way, right? It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, I figured you were intentionally blocking my water there, Cubit, but I have